Hi, I'm Neil of Team Teacher, teaching, living and raising a family in China. In this video, we're looking at booking a hotel in China. Let's check it out. We are going to look at booking hotels in China and websites that you can use that are Chinese to help you book hotels. However, before we get into that, there's a couple of things that I want to get out of the way that you really should know. So if you're going to China as a tourist, then you're going to need to stay in a hotel. The reason being for this is when you stay in a hotel, they automatically register you with the local police. So you might not be aware of that, but they will do that, and it's part of any visa requirement coming to China that you need to be, as a foreigner, need to be registered with the local police. If you say, for example, go with an Airbnb or something like that, then the onus is actually onto you to go to the local police station to register yourself with the police. Not many foreigners generally know that because a lot of the tourist visas, you do need to actually get a tourist visa. You do not need to actually show your accommodation. For foreigners that aren't just tourists that are living living in China, you can actually use a letter that you send to whoever's coming to visit you, family members or whatever, on a different visa other than a tourist visa, and they can use that to help enter, but they're still going to need to register with the local police under your apartment agreement. But I don't generally want to go in too much detail about that, but it's something that you should be aware of, and it's something that, you know, maybe they're not cracking down on it right now, but they might in the future. You don't know. It's China. Things change, and things change fast. I just don't want you to get caught out. Booking in China, because of that police thing, in the past, there were only certain hotels that were allowed to take foreigners. So that meant that if you just came in here with a tourist visa, which you generally couldn't do, but if, for example, say you did, and then just went to a random hotel, then maybe you weren't or aren't able to go with them, and you wonder why. Well, it's probably because they don't have the license to take foreigners, or whatever it is that they need to be able to do that. Or it could just be having a foreigner in the hotel is a headache, because it can be. So let's first look at some hotel chains. So there are a couple of hotel chains in China that you'll find just about in every city that are the equivalent of like Best Western, or these chain inns that you get in Western countries, and they're generally standard throughout China. They take foreigners, and they're pretty reliable for price. They're not the cheapest, but you know what you're going to get. So let's have a look at some of these chains. Jinjiang, www.jinjiang.com. The Jinjiang Hospitality Group runs many hotels. Under the international banner, they have the high-end hotels, often in Shanghai, and they also have Jinjiang Inns, which provide the more cheerful chain variety. They also have some car rentals in China, along with some tours that you can book as well. The Jinjiang.com website, if you go to the top and the third set of characters across, it will bring you to their hotel booking. The hotel booking website is under bestwehotel.com. This is the hotel website that they use to actually book the Jinjiang hotels, and you can kind of see the affiliates at the bottom that they run with. The hotel website is just like any website that you use to book hotels, same sort of layout. And if we just go and click on here, so it's looking for all these places in this Chinese city location, and you can kind of go in and just look like any sort of hotel booking website. It will tell you about the amenities, the location, etc. And you might have noticed it is all in Chinese. So what I actually do is I just use Google Chrome, but any sort of translator will do, and I just translate into English using the translation app, so I can better navigate that, as my Chinese is not that great. They also have an app, so you can log in and register with the website, or you can log in and register with the app, and you need that to actually be able to pay. Everything's going to be in Chinese, so you're going to need a Chinese payment method. So this is generally for people within China that's got access to WeChat Pay, that's also got access to Alipay or a Chinese credit card or debit card. If you want to book with them not via this website, there's going to be other websites like Expedia, Booking.com that you can find any sort of Jinjiang hotel chains, and you'll know you'll be booking with one of their affiliates. Hunting Inns. www.huazhou.com. Hunting Inns, otherwise known as Chinese lodges, they are part of the Huazhou.com Huazhou group. They have lots of affiliates, hotels and stuff like that that they work with, and they operate quite a few of these hunting chain hotels within China. They have a website, huazhou.com, and they also have an app as well that you can use, or you can actually book through WeChat. The website is just like your average hotel website. You search by location, date, and it gives you a list of hotels that you can actually look through and decide what you want. You will notice it's all in Chinese, but I've set it to actually be translated because I'm using Google Chrome, so I find it easier to actually navigate that way. So I can get the idea of the sort of amenities and stuff that I get, and the location and the price. However, it is a Chinese website, so everything is in Chinese, and that means your payment as well will need to be in Chinese. So this is for people that are actually in China or have access to Chinese methods of payment like Chinese credit cards, debit cards, Alipay or WeChat Pay. Those hotel chains, you can book through their websites, you can book through local websites, you can book through Chinese travel agencies and stuff like that, and sometimes they're on the Western websites. You just kind of have to keep an eye out for that sort of chain. And let's now take a look at the different websites and apps that you can use to book hotels in China. Agoda is a great travel website used for hotel booking and flights. We like to use it for hotels, so we're going to have a look at some hotels right now in Shenzhen. I use Agoda in just about every place I travel to. One of the reasons is the map feature. So I like how each individual hotel is priced and put on the map, so I can kind of accurately locate where I'm going without actually having to know the language so much and the details of the addresses and stuff. Especially being in China, that can be quite difficult. So a map layout is much better. I also like how the hotel information is presented with all the photos and details about what's included in the amenities, and the pricing is fairly straightforward as well. One of the best parts of Agoda is the payment options. So you can actually pay by international cards, Visa, MasterCard, or you can use Chinese options like Alipay, WeChat, or even your Chinese UnionPay bank card. You can even choose the option to pay a deposit and basically pay the rest of the amount later, which is what we often do when we're traveling around China.
So one of the apps that we use in China to book trips, hotels and trains is called Tripcom. It's formerly known as Ctrip or China Trip. It's a Chinese company, so it's really geared towards China. It's both a website and an app, so I have it downloaded on my phone, so let's check it out. Once you've launched the app, it's easy to sign in. So go to account and you can sign in or register. You can sign in with your email if you want an email account, or other methods such as WeChat, Facebook, or even Google and more. However, because we're in China, you're not likely to use Facebook or Google, so sign in with your WeChat. Once you've signed in, it has all the information, but you still need to fill in your ID information when it asks later. So again, for this app, you use it to book hotels, flights, and trains. It's very easy to use. It's all in English. It's geared towards foreigners like us. It's easy to navigate. You can search hotels by your location, your dates, and whatever you want. We've used it many times. We've used it to go to Taiwan. We used it to go to Macau, Hong Kong. It's very, very easy to use. We've used it to book trains and hotels. Once you've booked a ticket for trains or flights, remember that it will only give you a confirmation number, so you still have to go to the ticket office to pick it up with your ID. Because we don't have a Chinese ID, we can't use the machine to print out our own tickets. As for the hotel, just show them your information, show them the confirmation as you would if you book hotels with any other websites. It's really good in the sense that you can choose your own payments. You can choose to use a credit card, you can choose to use a UnionPay, or if you've connected to your WeChat account, you choose to pay with WeChat. So Trip.com is one of our most recommended apps to use when you're traveling within China. We've used it many times. A lot of people that we know have used it. It's reliable, it's trustworthy, and we've never had any problems with it.
So Li.com is a travel website that allows you to book trains, planes, hotels, and a bunch of other stuff. It's Chinese, so as you can see, all the language here is in Chinese right now. But one of the useful features, if you go to the top of the page, you can actually turn it into English. So you can browse the site and it's all going to be in English, and you're not going to need to use some sort of translator like Google Translate. Also at the top, you can select what currency. I'm going to change it into Chinese because I'm in China. And now what you'll notice is this site, when it goes to Chinese, only gives you the options for flights and trains. Well, that's the English version, so you can only book flights and trains. But what you can do is, say if you have Google Chrome or a good translator, you can go to Google Chrome, and I use the inbuilt translation, and I translate the Chinese page. So there's hotels there, there's cruises that you can book. You can also book ferry tickets, car tickets, and you can book for attractions as well. Now, I've never actually used it through this Chinese version, but I think there's probably a reason why they didn't put hotels onto the English version of the website, and that's likely due to many hotels needing to have a license to hold and allow foreigners to stay with them. So you might probably want to see if you can find the hotel name and try and contact them directly, and then maybe you can sort out payment between you and the hotel directly. So we've looked at some hotels in China, chains, and we've looked at ways to book hotels with apps and websites. So let's have a look at those alternatives.